Hey everyone, it's Samir here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my top 5 features that I think are going to be the biggest additions to macOS Sierra when it comes out later this fall, or autumn if you're in England. So let's get straight into this anyway. So the first feature that I think is going to be probably the biggest feature out of all of them is Siri. So Siri carries in a lot of the same things that it did from iOS, like the usual additions and asking how tall this landmark is and how old this person is and stuff like that. But it's also going to add a few things that will help you out with the Mac. So one of the things you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to ask it to search for a particular file on your computer by just saying what the file of the name is. And it can do the same for folders too. So you can ask it, for example, to find all of the files that have thumb in it, and then it'll bring them all up. Or you can say to find all of the images within a certain folder, and it'll do that. So it is really powerful when it comes to files and folders. Another thing that you can do is you can search for things on the internet, and then when the search result actually comes in, you can click and drag the images onto a Word document, onto a Pages document, onto the desktop, wherever you want. And then after that, there's a little plus that's to the top right that you can actually click on, and it will move it over into Notification Center, so you can get back to that later. And this is probably going to be more useful for if you want to search for scores that a particular team got. And as well as that, you can also do some other things, such as asking for information about the Mac that you've got in particular. So you can ask how fast it is, you can ask how much free space it's got, and you can ask all of those sorts of things. If you want to see more things that Siri do, you can click to the bottom left of the Siri box and it will basically show you everything it can do. Number 2 is that it manages storage really well, and it frees up any storage that it can do. So macOS Sierra is going to basically take any files that you're not using or haven't used for ages, and it's going to bring them all up to iCloud. And it's just going to use placeholders, so you're going to see all the files as if they're there, but the ones that you aren't using or haven't used for ages basically will go up to the servers, and then when you want to use them, it will download again. Kind of like what ODrive was that I showed in a video a while ago. The recycling bin will also be deleted after a file's been in there for more than 30 days, so that's never going to get filled up. And you can also have the Mac look for duplicate files. You can have it basically get rid of installation files and rid of files that you just basically don't need anymore, like some files and downloads and like that. And it'll just try and keep your Mac as clean as possible with no unnecessary files on it. But one thing you have to keep in mind is the only storage that you're going to get on iCloud is the amount that you pay for. So if you only got 5 gigabytes of storage, you're not going to be able to send any more files up than that 5 gigabytes. And once that is full, it's just not going to send anything else up. But thankfully, it's quite cheap to pay for more, so you might want to do that if you want to make use of these features. Number 3 is picture-in-picture. And what this is basically going to allow you to do is it's going to let you take any video pretty much from most sites, and it's going to let you basically separate it from the window and just have it running as a video on top of any other window that you've got open. It moves between desktops. It usually works on top of full screen apps. It's worked on top of some games that I've played, but not all of them. So it does pretty much go on top of most of the things. And yeah, it just lets you watch a video while you're doing whatever else you want to do on the Mac. It stays on top of all of other windows, so you don't have to worry about bringing it to the top or anything like that. And yes, it does work on YouTube, and thanks for John Rettiger for kind of indirectly showing me how this works. You just have to right click twice on the YouTube video, and then it gives you the option to do picture-in-picture, and then it does picture-in-picture, simple as that. Number 4 is that it works very well with other Apple devices. So it works really well with the iPhone because it's going to allow you to do things like use Apple Pay through some websites that are going to be supporting it, where you authenticate via your phone. It's also going to unlock your Mac automatically if your Apple Watch is in close proximity to the Mac, so it knows that you're there basically. And there's going to be a few other things like Universal Clipboard, where you can copy something on your iPhone and then paste it on your Mac. And number 5 is new animations, a new look for certain things. So Notification Center now looks really light, and it goes away from the whole dark thing that it had before. The notifications in it look a lot like iOS 10's notifications. As for mission control, now when you swipe up with 4 fingers, it actually manually kind of pushes them up. Instead of automatically when you just swipe up, it just basically goes straight into mission control. Now basically, dependent on how fast you push up your fingers or how slow you push up your fingers, is basically going to determine how the windows move. So it basically moves in real time to you moving your fingers. This is something that some people like, this is something that other people don't like, which from what I've seen around, so I don't know if I'd really like this myself really. And another thing is when you're in Notification Center and you do a four finger swipe again, instead of moving all of the windows back to how they were before, it basically gives the rubber band effect. So it doesn't move all the windows back, it gives you the rubber band effect. And I guess this is to make it seem more kind of as if you're actually pushing the windows upwards, because obviously if you push them up, it's not going to come down again. But I kind of like how it was before, so we'll see what Apple does with that in the future anyway. Oh, and for all of you people that used to like doing that shift plus the missing control button thing, that just doesn't really work anymore. It doesn't make it go slow anymore, it just goes as normal. But strangely enough, when you press shift and you go into stuff like dashboard, then they still go in slow motion. And I don't know why they changed that. It's probably because of the whole manual thing that they did with mission control. But yeah, that's kind of a thing now. Anyway, it's still the first beta and we'll see how it goes later on. But that's it for this video anyway. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.